It's Wednesday the 13th of March 2024. Welcome to the 76th edition of the Ouria newsletter series, where we take a look at supply chain trends and a comparative study in fertilizer consumption and production across the three geopolitical zones in Africa. Introduction. Agriculture plays a crucial role in driving economic growth and food security in Africa. However, the limited availability of arable land, combined with limited access to efficient fertilizers, poses a significant challenge to crop production. This series aims to conduct a bird's-eye analysis of current and up-to-date data on fertilizer production and consumption in Africa, focusing on the impact of an inefficient fertilizer supply chain on crop output. Additionally, it provides recommendations for future-focused improvements to enhance the supply chain. Current trends in fertilizer consumption and production. The demand for fertilizers in Africa has been on a steady rise, driven by population growth, urbanization, and changing dietary preferences. According to recent industry data, fertilizer consumption in Africa has increased by approximately 5% per year over the past decade. This upward trend is expected to continue in the coming years due to various factors, including population growth, increasing demand for food, and the need to enhance agricultural productivity. In terms of production, Africa's fertilizer manufacturing industry has witnessed significant growth in recent years. Several countries, particularly South Africa, Nigeria, and Egypt, have emerged as major fertilizer producers. However, a significant portion of the continent still relies on imports to meet its fertilizer requirements. Despite the growth in fertilizer production in Africa, the manufacturing industry still faces several challenges. One of the main challenges is the limited availability of raw materials necessary for fertilizer production, such as phosphorus and potassium. Additionally, inadequate infrastructure and outdated technology hinder the efficiency and competitiveness of local fertilizer manufacturers. These challenges contribute to the continent's dependence on fertilizer imports, which can be costly and unreliable. The imbalance between production and consumption highlights the need for further investment in fertilizer manufacturing capabilities across the continent.
Comparative study. Impact of an inefficient fertilizer supply chain on crop output. One of the key challenges faced by the agriculture sector in Africa is the presence of an inefficient fertilizer supply chain. The supply chain is characterized by inadequate infrastructure, limited distribution channels, and inadequate storage facilities. As a result, fertilizers often reach farmers too late or in insufficient quantities, leading to reduced crop yields and increased production costs. In order to assess the comparative impact of an inefficient fertilizer supply chain on crop output, this series will consider three geopolitical zones in Africa: Eastern Africa, Western Africa, and Central Africa. Each zone has its own unique characteristics and challenges, which contribute to variations in fertilizer consumption and crop production. 1. Eastern Africa. Fertilizer consumption. Fertilizer consumption in Eastern Africa has witnessed steady growth, driven by increasing agricultural productivity and the need to diversify crop production. However, the supply chain in the region remains inefficient, resulting in limited access to fertilizers for many smallholder farmers. Crop output. The impact of an inefficient fertilizer supply chain on crop output in Eastern Africa is notable. Farmers in this region often experience reduced yields, leading to food insecurity and economic hardship. Recommended improvements include investing in transportation infrastructure, reducing transportation costs, and improving storage facilities. 2. Western Africa. Fertilizer consumption. Fertilizer consumption in Western Africa has lagged behind other regions due to various constraints, including limited arable land and weak agricultural infrastructure. However, with the growing demand for food, there is potential for increased fertilizer consumption. Crop output. The impact of an inefficient fertilizer supply chain on crop output in Western Africa is substantial. Farmers in this region struggle with limited access to quality fertilizers, resulting in low crop yields and increased vulnerability to food shortages. Recommended improvements include strengthening fertilizer distribution networks, promoting local fertilizer production, and providing technical assistance to farmers.
3. Central Africa. Fertilizer consumption. Fertilizer consumption in Central Africa has been relatively low compared to other regions, primarily due to a lack of awareness of the benefits of fertilizer usage among farmers. However, with growing agricultural investments and increased awareness about sustainable agriculture practices, demand for fertilizers is expected to rise. Crop output. The impact of an inefficient fertilizer supply chain on crop output in Central Africa is mixed. While access to fertilizers is still limited, some regions have made progress in improving distribution channels and storage facilities. Recommended improvements include enhancing farmer education and training programs, promoting the adoption of modern agricultural practices, and investing in infrastructure development. Recommendations for future-focused improvements to the supply chain. To enhance fertilizer production and distribution in Africa, the following recommendations are proposed. 1. Investment in fertilizer manufacturing. Encourage governments, private investors, and development agencies to invest in fertilizer manufacturing capacity in Africa. This will not only ensure a reliable supply of fertilizers but also create employment opportunities and foster local economic development. 2. Strengthening distribution channels. Improve transportation infrastructure, including roads, railways, and storage facilities, to facilitate the movement of fertilizers from manufacturers to farmers in rural areas. Develop partnerships with local distributors and cooperatives to ensure efficient distribution to farmers. 3. Promoting fertilizer usage. Conduct awareness campaigns to educate farmers about the advantages of fertilizer usage, including improved crop yields, increased resistance to pests and diseases, and enhanced soil fertility. Provide technical assistance to farmers to optimize fertilizer application techniques and monitor soil nutrient levels. 4. Establishing fertilizer banks. Establish fertilizer banks in areas where access to fertilizers is limited, allowing farmers to purchase fertilizers on credit or using alternative payment mechanisms. These banks can also provide information and support to farmers regarding fertilizer selection and application. 5. Collaboration with international organizations. Collaborate with international organizations, such as the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, and donor agencies to support fertilizer development projects in Africa. These partnerships can provide technical expertise, financial assistance, and knowledge sharing to enhance fertilizer production and distribution.
Conclusion. By addressing the challenges of an inefficient fertilizer supply chain and implementing these recommendations, Africa can enhance crop output, improve food security, and contribute to sustainable agricultural development. To improve fertilizer application techniques and monitor soil nutrient levels in Africa, it is crucial to provide farmers with training and technical assistance. This can include educating them on proper application methods, such as timing and dosage, and promoting the use of soil testing kits to assess nutrient levels. Additionally, implementing digital solutions, such as mobile apps or online platforms, please refer to our Ouria series number 75 on the Internet of Things, can help farmers track their fertilizer usage and receive personalized recommendations based on their specific soil conditions. If you would like to learn more, please contact us on any of the social media handles below. Quote of the week: be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. Steve Jobs.